Hare Krishna. Um, Welcome to our Bhagavad Gita readings. Today, I'm I'm a bit melancholy. One of my good friends from London, where I lived for 25 years, has succumbed to COVID-19, and because he was 77 years old, he was a really sincere practitioner, bhakta of bhakti yoga. Everyone, please take care of yourselves. We're in a difficult time. And so I'm going to continue, and I'm going to read both the Bhagavad Gita, read the verse following the one that we read the last time, which is from the second chapter. We read verse 56. Now I want to read verse 57. And I'll read both the Sanskrit translation as well as the purport. And that purport is by my spiritual master, my guru, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So here's the Sanskrit. Yasarvat rana bishnehas tat prapya shubha shubham nabi nandati nadveshti tasya pragya pratishtita. And the translation goes as follows. In the material world, one who is unaffected by whatever good or evil he may obtain, neither praising it nor despising it, is firmly fixed in perfect knowledge. Purport. There's always some upheaval in the material world, which may be good or evil. One who is not agitated by such material upheavals, who is unaffected by good and evil, is to be understood, to be fixed in Krishna consciousness. As long as one is in the material world, there is always the possibility of good and evil, because this world is full of duality. But one who is fixed in Krishna consciousness is not affected by good and evil, because he's simply concerned with Krishna, who is all good, absolute. Such consciousness in Krishna situates one in a perfect transcendental position called technically samadhi. Very relevant to our world today. We are certainly in a time of suffering. Picture yourself in a boat, and there's a storm. The waves are rocking back and forth violently. The wind is blowing, but you're anchored. You're anchored to the ground. So despite the fact that it may be extremely distressing, you may be unaccustomed to storms on the high sea and therefore get seasick, but you're safe because that boat is anchored. It's not going to go anywhere. You're not going to crash on the rocks. So this is what the world is also like. There's always some storm, and that storm is, of course, when we take storm, we think, well, something is bad. And then on the other side, there's something that's good, and we always try to avoid the bad and somehow or another increase the good. But wherever there's good, there's also going to come bad. I think everyone has enough experience of that. If you've lived in this world for any length of time, no one has a free flow. There is distress. And COVID-19 is bringing a lot of distress to people's homes. And we're meant to react because we're human beings. But aside from reacting as human beings, we can't overreact. We should recognize, yes, this is the inevitable flow of events, the inevitable flow of things within the world. And how do we therefore maintain our stability? How do we maintain our sanity? Well, the best way to do that is by anchoring to that which doesn't change. And when you're anchored to the Supreme, then absolutely nothing changes. These external things may be taking place, but our internal connection keeps us both safe, secure, and confident in our direction in life. And we realize that even if we're faced with possibility of death, and of course, ultimately, everyone is faced with a possibility of death. And that time, everything that we've acquired and whoever we've known is over. But things don't cease. Why? Because we're connected to the Supreme, and we're connected to transcendental knowledge that we are also a part of that Supreme, a spiritual part. And that spiritual part never dies. And it is indifferent or independent of all of these waves of the world that are going on, the good ones or the bad ones. And that's called samadhi. It doesn't happen overnight. It's something that we need to practice. But when we practice being in this type of consciousness, then that is called being in perfect knowledge. In Sanskrit, tasya pragya pratishtita, a person who's really fixed in knowledge. And Bhagavad Gita is meant to give us the knowledge by we can deal with all of the reversals and all of the apparent happinesses of the world that we're in. Not being too elated and not being too distressed. So if you have a Bhagavad Gita, study that Bhagavad Gita, you will find that it is a source of unlimited knowledge and unlimited security and support. Hare Krishna.